Unbroken, transforming your wounds into wisdom. The first time I encountered Kendra Smith, I wasn't just meeting a mental health advocate, I was witnessing a force of nature disguised as a human being. Her presence alone commands attention, not with loudness, but with a quiet certainty that makes you lean in closer. But it's her profound understanding of human suffering and resilience that truly sets her apart. Kendra has dedicated her life to dismantling the stigma around mental health in Black communities, creating ripples of healing that have become waves of transformation across the country. Her work doesn't just change lives, it saves them. And today, I'm honored to share the wisdom she imparted during our conversation. Wisdom that might just revolutionize how you view your own journey. Have you ever felt defined by your worst moments, by the trauma you've endured, by the mistakes you've made, by the losses that have hollowed you out? I see those nods. I feel that energy shift in the room. We all carry something, don't we? Some weight, some wound, some memory that feels like it's tattooed, not just on our skin, but etched into our very identity. The childhood that wasn't safe, the relationship that broke more than your heart, the failure that still makes you wince years later, the grief that still catches you off guard on random Tuesday afternoons. But what if I told you that the most powerful truth I learned from Kendra Smith is this: your past shapes you, but it never, ever has to define you. Let that sink in for a moment. Your past shapes you, but it never has to define you. This isn't just a pretty affirmation to stick on your bathroom mirror. This is a revolutionary truth that can transform how you move through the world. When Kendra spoke about this concept, she wasn't offering empty platitudes. She was speaking from a place of deep understanding about how trauma works, how it lives in our bodies, influences our choices, and sometimes hijacks our futures if we let it. The difference between being shaped by something and being defined by it, Kendra explained, is the difference between carrying wisdom and carrying chains. Think about that: wisdom versus chains. One empowers you to move forward, the other keeps you bound to a moment that has already passed. In Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we're seeing this principle in action through a groundbreaking initiative within the police department. They've hired their first ever wellness advocate, Kendra Buick, to support officers dealing with the intense stress and trauma inherent to their profession. These officers face situations daily that most of us only encounter in our nightmares. They witness humanity at its worst and most vulnerable. They make split second decisions with life altering consequences. And for generations, the culture has been clear: you don't talk about it, you don't process it. You certainly don't admit when it's breaking you. Sound familiar? How many of us were raised with similar messages? Keep it together, stay strong, don't let them see you sweat. Especially in Black communities where strength has been both our shield and our burden, these messages run deep. We wear our resilience like armor, never realizing that armor, while protective, also restricts movement, growth, and healing. But through Buick's work, something remarkable is happening. Officers are beginning to understand that seeking help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. That processing trauma isn't indulgent, it's essential. That being shaped by their experiences without being defined by them is not just possible, it's transformative. This shift isn't happening overnight. Cultural change never does, but it's happening and it's saving lives. Which brings me to the second profound truth from my conversation with Kendra Smith. Mental health matters in every community, but especially in communities where stigma has silenced suffering for generations. Let's be honest. In many Black communities, mental health hasn't just been ignored, it's been actively dismissed. Depression gets labeled as having the blues. Anxiety becomes being too sensitive. Trauma responses are seen as character flaws rather than natural reactions to abnormal situations. The most dangerous lie we've been told, Kendra shared, is that strength means silence, that resilience means refusing help, that faith means denying pain. This lie has cost us dearly. It's cost us brilliant minds lost to suicide. It's cost us generations trapped in cycles of unprocessed trauma. It's cost us the full, vibrant expression of who we could be if we weren't constantly managing unhealed wounds. In New York, a program called Kendra's Law is addressing this reality head on. Named after Kendra Webdale, a young woman whose tragic death became a catalyst for change. This initiative provides court mandated assisted outpatient treatment for people with severe mental illness who struggle with voluntary care. Now, I know what some of you are thinking: court mandated treatment? That sounds controlling, potentially problematic. And those concerns are valid. But here's the reality: before this program, many individuals with severe mental illness were cycling between hospitalization, homelessness, and incarceration. Their illness wasn't just affecting their quality of life, it was defining their entire existence. Through structured support, including case management, medication access, and evidence based therapies, participants have seen dramatic improvements: reduced homelessness, fewer hospitalizations, decreased arrests, and most importantly, greater stability, living independently within their communities. This isn't about controlling people, it's about recognizing that sometimes the very illness that needs treatment can prevent someone from seeking that treatment. It's about creating pathways to healing that acknowledge this complex reality. And it's working. I mean, it's not perfectly, no system is perfect, but it's working well enough to have inspired similar programs nationwide. It's working well enough to have shifted the conversation from punishment to treatment when addressing behavioral health issues in marginalized communities. This brings me to perhaps the most powerful insight from my conversation with Kendra Smith. Faith and community are not just nice additions to the healing journey, they are essential components of lasting transformation. There's a story shared anonymously on the Treatment Advocacy Center's website that illustrates this beautifully. A survivor of childhood abuse describes years of depression and self doubt that followed them into adulthood. Years of feeling isolated and broken, years of believing that their trauma was their identity. What changed? Not just therapy, though that was important, not just medication, though that helped too. What truly transformed their journey was finding community, specifically peer support groups focused on Black youth healing from generational pain. In these spaces, vulnerability wasn't met with judgment, but with compassion. Stories weren't met with dismissal, but with recognition. Pain wasn't met with platitudes, but with presence. Through storytelling and artistic expression, this individual not only rebuilt their self esteem, but became an advocate within local women's circles, empowering others facing similar adversities. Their healing became a catalyst for community healing. As Kendra put it, when we heal in isolation, we heal a wound. When we heal in community, we heal generations. This is the power of faith and community in the healing journey, not as replacements for professional help, but as essential companions to it, not as ways to bypass the hard work of healing, but it's supports that make that work sustainable. Because here's the truth: healing is hard, transformation is messy. Reclaiming your narrative after trauma is exhausting. No one should have to do it alone. No one was designed to do it alone. So, where does this leave us? With three powerful truths that have the potential to transform not just individual lives, but entire communities. Your past shapes you, but it never has to define you. Mental health matters in every community, especially where stigma has silenced suffering. Faith and community are essential components of lasting transformation. I want you to leave here today with more than just inspiration. I want you to leave with a challenge to disrupt the status quo of suffering in silence, a challenge to become an architect of healing in your own life and in your community. If you're carrying wounds from your past, make today the day you decide they will shape your wisdom but not determine your worth. If you've been struggling in silence, make today the day you reach out to a friend, a therapist, a support group, a faith leader. Your vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the first step toward liberation. And if you're in a position to create spaces where others can heal, do it. Start the conversation about mental health in your family, your workplace, your place of worship. Be the person who responds to vulnerability, not with judgment, but with genuine presence. Because when we transform our relationship with our past, we don't just change our own lives, we create ripple effects that can heal communities, bridge divides, and break generational cycles of trauma. Remember, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. And that choice, that powerful, life altering choice, is available to you right now, in this moment. The question isn't whether your past will shape you, it already has. The question is, will you let it define you? Or will you use it as the raw material from which you craft a future more beautiful than anything your pain could have predicted? The choice is yours. And I believe in your power to choose wisely. Thank you.